Hey everyone, it's just me, Chris here. The team will be joining me for a future show. I just want to welcome you guys here. It's Christmas Eve. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate, whether you just got done celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, or if you don't celebrate any holidays, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever. But this is just a special I wanted to do. Everybody in my team will be talking about something like this in the future here, and it'll be something fun here. I'm doing my countdown of my top 10 coasters that I got to ride this year, and I had the privilege of riding 61 new coasters this year. So out of those 61 new coasters that I got to ride, I'm at 199 coasters total. I'm trying to make Iron Gwazi or Velocicoaster my number 200, so I'm holding out for that. Hopefully I could hold out that long. If not, I might travel up to American Dream Mall up in New York City or New Jersey and go ride Shredder, just because I know that'll be a good coaster as well. So I'm kind of holding out if I want to do that or whatnot. But I got to ride 61 coasters this year. And out of those 61 coasters, these are my top 10. It's going to be a quick video today. I definitely appreciate you guys joining me. I have a couple POVs to share. If I don't have the POVs, then I'll just have to share whatever I could find on YouTube. But I'm just going to go over like my favorite parts of the ride and favorite parts of the coaster, why I put it at 10 and not at 1. And I'm going to start off first by starting off with Phoenix over at hold on. So let me mute this real fast because I can't talk while this thing is loud. So hold on. Let's go ahead and restart this here. All right. So Phoenix. It was moved to Knoebels in 1985. A great coaster. It's actually from 1947, I believe. So it's a really old coaster. After you get out of the station, you hit a black tunnel, and then you go straight into the lift hill. This is my number 10, by the way. Sorry, this is something new that I'm doing. So number 10 is Phoenix at Knoebels. And as I go out the lift hill, now all you have is buzz bars on this. So all this coaster has is buzz bars, no seatbelts, and you hit this first drop. Now, I'm not going to deny it. The first time I rode it, I was kind of underwhelmed, but as I rode it more in the back, I got a lot more airtime. You kind of hit this kind of mellow first drop into this turnaround, and then you go down. It's a good out and back coaster, but you're going to go down over here. And this is where you start getting your airtime. Here's another airtime hill here, a short one here, and then you're going to hit another turnaround here. And once you hit the turnaround, you are going to drop again, and this is where all your airtime comes from. And this is what the coaster did for me. And this last part of it, I loved it so much because of the airtime moments on it. I didn't love it enough to make it my number 1 or my number 9, but it made my top 10 this year out of 61 coasters that I rode this year. And I have almost 200. So out of 61 coasters, this is my number 10. And look at the airtime. I was actually out of my seat on this. This is my POV or our POV, and that is me going out of the seat. Now, this coaster costs a total of, I believe, $2 or $3 to ride at Knoebels. Now, Knoebels is kind of like an old-fashioned park. You just enter, you grab a ticket book, or they'll have a wristband. Phoenix is definitely great. Twister would have made my top list, but I only rode Twister twice. I rode Phoenix 5 times. So Twister is kind of my number 11, but let's go to my number 9, which is going to be Candemonium, the new coaster that opened this year at Hershey Park. And this coaster was okay. I wouldn't say it was like the greatest coaster ever or anything like that. But let me see if I can get a POV on here. There we go. And Okay, so this is the official park POV on it. This is my number 9. Now, we had the pleasure of going to Media Day over there for Candymodium. Now, Candymodium is a good B&M hyper, don't get me wrong. It just didn't do too much for me. I rode it in the front, middle, back, and I think I rode it a total of 6 times. It's not the best coaster in the park. However, if you don't like an intense coaster, this is definitely for you. It was a good coaster. I definitely would rank it like I said, I'd rank it in the top 10. But it's a short B&M hyper. I would say the first half is great. The second half to me was underwhelming. The part that stood out to me the most was probably the speed hill. After the speed hill, I kind of lost all interest in it. But that first drop was great. And then you get a little bit airtime here in the front row. Then you cross over and you have a turnaround. It's just a basic turnaround. I mean, like I said, there's nothing really special about this coaster. I just thought that the airtime and the speed was good. It has like a built-in RMC element towards before you hit the last helix of the coaster before it ends. This is the best part of the coaster right here is the speed hill, and a little bit of airtime. Then you hit this turnaround over here, and then you're going to hit this slight sharp bank right here, which is an RMC element that they added into the coaster. Right, and then you hit the helix. Hershey Fountain was not operating when I was there, but I heard it's a lot better with that operating. Then you hit a small little airtime moment, and then you hit the brakes. And not much to it. I didn't think this coaster was that great. I'll be honest. I thought it was kind of lackluster. I think it's a great addition. The reason I liked it is because of the theming more so than the ride experience. So the theming on Candymodium over at Hershey Park, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good B&M hyper, but they have 2 hypers in the park, one being Skyrush, one being Candymodium. Sorry, over here. It's fun. I think you're talking about, and I believe you are talking about probably Candymodium. I think it's a fun coaster. However, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't list it in my top 5, top 3, only because I rode a lot of good coasters this year. But definitely, it would be probably in my maybe top 50. I don't know. I don't really do a top 50 list. These are just my top 10 that I rode this year, new coaster wise. So these are all my new coasters that I rode. Um, so let's go ahead and go over to my number 8, which happens to be Orion at you know what, Kings Island. Now, I love the theming of Orion. I'm not going to talk much about it because obviously I don't want to bore you guys with that, but here we go. So this kind of goes over the whole ride experience. You guys will get more of it. We're able to do this because the park actually released this for us. So the lift hill is great. So like I explained, if you guys didn't get a chance to go to Midwest Coaster Fans, you could actually see the review on there that I did. You look to your right, you look to your left. It's great views of the park. You could see Banshee. You could see the Eiffel Tower. You could see everything around there. It's a beautiful thing. Orion kind of grew on me as I rode it more. It's still a lackluster Giga. I'm not a Giga fanatic like some of you guys might be, but I rode Orion expecting more, and you hit this 300-foot drop, and this is probably the best part of the ride in my opinion. So you hit this first drop, and then right away you hit this wave turn. This wave turn is my favorite part of the ride, and then you hit a high banked turnaround point. And this is kind of where the coaster kind of lost its thing. But I like this coaster because of the speed. It keeps the speed, and the speed hill is wonderful. And then it hits this last airtime hill. Well, not last, but like last major airtime hill before hitting this helix. And for some reason, all Kings Island's coasters always end in a helix and into another airtime moment. But it's not that long of a coaster. I think Kings Island could have done better by adding 1,000 more feet on it. And I think they could have made it go through the wood line a little more. We've heard rumors that this was supposed to go to California's Great America, but I don't know if those rumors are true or not. However, it was a great addition for Kings Island. Operations were great. The theming was great. Area 72, it was themed to Area 72 in the area. Theme to kind of you taking a mission to save the planet, the Orion space mission. and you blast off and you go on this coaster. And the theming in the queue is amazing. I think Kings Island did great on the theming. I think the coaster is a great addition to Kings Island. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great addition. Hopefully, we see more of these type of coasters in the future at Kings Island. I definitely enjoyed it, but as you can see from the off-ride footage, it's just like any other Giga coaster that B&M makes, basically. And I haven't rode Fury 325 yet. I plan on riding it next year in 2021. Unfortunately, Carowinds was closed. But let me know what you guys think about it. And we're going to get into my number 7, which happens to be Mako over at SeaWorld Orlando. And as you can see here, there's a lot of music on here, so you're not going to hear too much of that. But number 7 is Mako, and the reason why number 7 is Mako, I didn't get a chance to ride it. It's open a year. This is the first year I got to ride it. I've gotten plenty of rides on it since I moved down here to Orlando, and let me tell you what, this is my personal POV that I was able to record while going there, and I loved it. I love the coaster. I'm not really a B&M hyper fan, but this coaster did it for me. And I think pretty much out of everything that I rode, this was the most fun hyper that I rode. And I didn't throw so much into there, but yeah, you can definitely see from here that definitely a great coaster. And it gives you a lot of airtime, and you get a lot of these near misses. You get a lot of these airtime moments on it, and this is probably my favorite part of the ride because you can see how it. Look at my legs go up, and you can see how you hit this airtime moment, and then you switch back right here in between all these near miss moments, and it goes by the lake, so you have this beautiful lake view. Great night ride. I actually got to ride it at night last week, 4 times in a row. Better at night than during the day. The first time I rode it, it was in the heat of summer, and I was kind of like unsure about it because I don't like riding coasters when it's really hot outside. I don't know if you guys are under the same bubble as I am, but usually when you ride coasters when it's really hot outside, you run into a lot of issues with heat exhaustion, dehydration. You kind of get headaches from it. And just going into there, I was able to do a front and front facing POV. Like I said, I really enjoyed this coaster. You can see the great views of SeaWorld Orlando. It's a great park to go to if you guys haven't been to it yet. Um, but let's go ahead and get in. Let's go ahead and get into my number 6 coaster. My number 6 coaster is actually going to be Mind Blower at Fun Spot or Fun Spot Kissimmee. Um, and I'm going to give you my off-ride POV because I didn't get permission from the park to do an on-ride. So we're just going to go ahead and watch the on-ride or off-ride footage of it. Now, Mind Blower is a gravity group coaster. It's about, I think it was built in 2017. Great addition to the small little Fun Spot park in Kissimmee, Florida. I had a great time on it. It was a great coaster. A little on the rough side, but many of you guys that have ridden um, any of you guys that have ridden any of the gravity group coasters would know that gravity group coasters are not, in my opinion, tracked correctly. So I think whenever this coaster gets retracked down at Fun Spot Kissimmee, I think it offers a whole new ride experience. I look at coasters like Hades 360. Um, Also, if you look at the Voyage, which Holiday World now takes care of the tracking, totally much smoother. I think Gravity Group makes great coasters. I just am not a fan of their tracking. I think their wooden tracking could be a lot better. Let's see what people have to say here. Merry Christmas to all. Good ride. LOL. Mind blower looks amazing. And it was an amazing ride. You like guys like the new effects? Yeah, they added new effects before the new year. So thank you, StreamYard, for that. It looks a lot better. But you can see here, So I did a challenge, and I rode every single seat and every single row. So it's a total, I think, of 12 rides in a row. And this ride blew my expectations. I loved it more and more and more. It got faster as the day went on. And that corkscrew right there, that inversion, is the best part of the ride. It's more intense than Hades 360s. But let's go ahead and look at what my number 5 is, which is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. And I got a chance to ride this. Let me see if I could see if I did. Oh, here it is, off-ride footage. So this coaster, wow. Now I know you guys are probably thinking, well, how is this not in your top 3? I'll be honest. First half I loved. Second half to me wasn't as good as the first half. So the first half of this coaster, great ejector air time, smooth as glass. I don't know why people say it's rough that live near Great Adventure. I guess you guys are spoiled. But the ejector airtime off of this great coaster is amazing. I was able to get good shots all over the park of El Toro. I know it's been around for a while. This is the first time I got to get out to Great Adventure. I really loved it. I actually would have put Hydrus over at Seaside Heights, maybe ahead of a couple of the other, but I don't know. It was a hard time deciding my top 10. But like I said, the first half got great ejector airtime, and then it kind of slows down a little bit. And then you have the final 2 sections of the ride that are, in my opinion, still good. I think this is a great ride. I wish Intamin would have added more of these prefabs throughout the country, because I think they are great additions to many parks across the country. But unfortunately, I think only 2 of these around the world got installed, unfortunately. But Intamin proved themselves, but I think the cost of adding something like this ended up triumphing why parks weren't able to do more of them. Happy holidays to you too, Brian Howard, and it's going great. Just doing a top 10 list. And if you guys get a chance, get out the Great Adventure. Make sure you hit up El Toro. I didn't like King of the Ka. I thought King of the Ka was kind of trash. Yes, it's the world's tallest coaster, but it was a little rough. I heard if you ride in the front, it's better, but it didn't do anything for me. My top 2 at that park was El Toro and Nitro. Other than that, I could ride El Toro all day there. If I go back to Great Adventure, I'd probably just marathon that unless Jersey Devil's open, because I didn't really get anything out of the other coasters at the park. I think this is a beautiful park. I think this park deserves better, and I think this park in the future hopefully gets more additions. Which brings me to my number 4, Hagrids at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. It's actually full thing is Hagrid's uh, Hagrid's motorbike. I don't know, but I'm gonna use the Potter Collector for this one just because he has the best POV. We're actually able to record POVs now, but when I went, we weren't able to. I rode this back in March. I've rode it many times since then. 7 launches. The theming's great throughout the ride queue. This is a fun, intimate launch coaster. You could ride on the motorcycle side, or you could ride on the sidecar side, and it is an amazing ride. Let me tell you what. I love the whole experience. It's just a fun coaster. I didn't ride it for the intensity. I rode it because I wanted a fun coaster. You can see the theming over here, Harry Potter theming. It's if you guys haven't been out to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure and rode any of these coasters, you are missing out, because Universal has good coasters. There's that other launch, and here's some airtime, and you go into a turn here, and another turn, and another turn. You know how Intamin does it. If you guys ridden Maverick and I-305, you know how they turn the track. And these launches just make the ride experience so much better. It actually feels like you're on a motorcycle. It feels like you're in the story. I would probably rank this I've probably ranked this the number 1 storytelling coaster of all time. Disney, I mean, we haven't rode Galaxy's Edge yet, or not Galaxy's Edge, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind yet. But here's that spike. You go backwards in reverse. Once you hit the reverse, you go back into a drop track. And so this is the fun part of the ride too. And this is the last part of the ride. This is the fastest part of it. So you go into this cave. I think there's like a tarantula. I don't know. I'm not a diehard Harry Potter fan, so I don't know the specific names of it. This could be a dragon's lair. I'm not even 100% certain. All I know is that you drop right here. And then there you go. And then Hagrid tells you to press a button, and you go full speed through the tunnel at 70 miles an hour, I believe. It's 70. I could be wrong. I could be off on the speed, but it's around that. I think it's either 68 or 70 miles an hour. Boom. That's the fastest part of the ride right there. And you can see all the launch. And you hit the last part of the coaster. And then finally you see the unicorn at the end, and that means the ride's over. Great coaster. If you get out to Universal Islands of Adventure, go there first. Don't hesitate. If Velocicoaster's open, obviously ride that too, but don't miss out on this coaster. It's always busy. I don't think Velocicoaster is going to generate the type of lines because Harry Potter is really popular all the time. But my number 3, and this is the Potter Collector. He's a good. He's the one who took the POV on it. So if you get a chance, check out his channel. All right, so we're going to check out Hades 360. And we're just going to look at the off-ride footage. So, the funny part about this is that Hades 360 exceeded my expectations. Mount Olympus, weird park, but myself and Dustin went out there back in, and I think it was June. I think it was one of the first parks to open. So we went out there in June, and I think we spent $60 for 2 people for a night at the hotel, 2 days at the park. We loved every second of it. Couldn't get enough of Hades 360. I think I rode this 12 times that day. Obviously, they have a good lineup, CCI lineup with Hades 360, with Cyclops, Zeus, Pegasus is horrible. Don't even waste your time on it. But Hades 360, great coaster. You start off out of the tunnel, boom. The first half element before you even hit the lift hill is intense. So you see right here, this is the pre-lift. This is how intense this coaster is. It's getting smoother. I heard it used to be rough. Then you hit the lift hill. Once you hit the lift hill, you look down. You're going straight into an underground tunnel, straight underneath the parking lot. Once you hit that underground tunnel, it's probably one of the longest sections of the ride. All you see is darkness sometimes, and then sometimes they may have the lights on. But you'll see here in just a second just how the experience is. Right into that tunnel right there, and then you hit this inversion right here, which is like a inverted corkscrew. Boom. You hit this other section, which is a overbank turn right after this corkscrew. You'll see it here in a second. Overbank turn, which Gravity Grip is really famous for. Hold on a second. Okay, I think we're good. And then you're going to go back into the underground tunnel underneath the parking lot, and then you're going to come back over here. This is kind of where it loses a little bit of its speed. Still a great ride, still a great coaster. I couldn't get enough of it. If you guys don't want to ride anything else and you guys don't have a lot of time, I've been told to head up to Green Bay to ride Zip and Pippin too, which I'm going to do next year. Go out to Mount Olympus, ride Zeus, I like Cyclops. Ride Zeus, ride Cyclops, see what you like best. Hades 360 marathon it as much as you can. I was fortunate enough that it got less busy as the day went on, but really cheap experience. Can't complain there. I guess I forgot to add the recommended videos. I'm really bad at that on here. But I don't know if any of you guys rode Hades 360, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a great coaster, great addition to Mount Olympus. I hope to see something like a steel coaster at Mount Olympus soon, but I don't know how they're going to be able to build anything new with the prices so low. I heard next year they're going to go back to their normal prices. But let's go ahead and get in my number 2 here, which is Skyrush. And I'm not going to... Oh, my God. I mean, I wish Jacob was here to join me on this part because me and him just couldn't get enough of Skyrush. I'm going to get a POV on here. Let's see if I can get one from the actual Hershey Park. Oh, here we are. So this coaster is intense, guys. This is why it's my number 2 and not my number 1, and you'll find out what my number 1 is, and you'll agree with me on it. This coaster has a cable lift. You go over the top, it slows you down enough, and I've been told it's called thigh rush. It didn't hurt my thighs at all, but it's so intense, man. It just kicks over. Airtime, boom, 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 transitions, constant speed, ejector airtime, constant speed, ejector airtime. This coaster is intense, guys. This is a really intense coaster. By far my favorite hyper coaster. By far my favorite hyper coaster. I wish we saw more of these from Intamin, but I guess the public doesn't like them because they're too intense. But Skyrush, wow, Intamin, you outdid yourself. If Maverick wasn't my number 1, I think Skyrush should be my number 1 because Skyrush is that good. And I'm going to show this POV just one more time so you guys can watch this. But look how fast this coaster goes. So this coaster does not waste any time from the moment it leaves the station to the moment it hits that first drop. Wow. All I could say is wow. And Jacob would agree with me from our channel. We couldn't get enough of it. We marathon it, and they let us get the last ride of the day on the back left row. If you guys get a chance, ride the back left or the back right. You get the most intensity. If you want less intense on your first ride, ride in the middle and then move to the side. Do not ride in the front. It's not as intense. Ride in the back. And this is a hard coaster to marathon because it's so intense. The G's, the ejector. It didn't help that it was hot outside. But wow, what a coaster. Hershey Park. Build more of these at your park. And by far, guys, if you guys haven't been out to Hershey Park yet, go ride Skyrush. Go check out this park. Hershey Park is one of the best parks that we've ever been to. The theming is amazing. And after you guys are done, you could go out. You could go to the Hershey chocolate shop, get yourself some candy bars, get you guys some stuff. And I stocked up on chocolate. I think I walked out of the chocolate shop spending $100 on chocolate. And I can't wait to go back to Hershey Park. I want to thank Hershey Park for inviting us out to Media Day and giving us a complimentary ticket to come back. By far, their PR department is amazing. We had the opportunity to ride, like I said, we had the opportunity to ride the new coaster. I don't know what the future holds for Hershey Park. I imagine they're going to add something new probably in 2022. But wow, I'm hoping to see Wildcat GCI with the new track, just because I've been told, but Wildcat was closed when we were there. Which leads us to my number 1, and I'm going to talk about this for about 7 minutes, and then I'm going to be done here. Let's see what the comments said. I love Skyrush. Hershey is my home park. Well, Greg, next time we are out to Hershey Park, definitely make sure that we head out to Hershey Park. We will contact you, and we would love to ride Skyrush with you because you've got a great home park, by the way. We actually joked around and said we wish that Hershey Park was where Kings Island's at, and Kings Island was where Hershey Park's at over the summer because that coaster is that good. Okay. Anyways, this leads me to my number 1, and you guys may agree with it. You may not. Headed out to Silver Dollar City. Rode a one-of-a-kind coaster. What can I say about this? Man, I don't even know what to say about this coaster. I think this is a 10-minute review on it, so I'm just going to let it play through. So this is playing through the video. Headed out to Silver Dollar City by myself, and then my team actually went out there together later on. Headed out to Silver Dollar City. I had the the Trailblazer Pass. This park is beautiful. I love Dollywood for it being in the mountains, but I don't really love the aesthetics of it. Silver Dollar City is by far a more beautiful park. I love the steampunk mixed with the Old West theme. I think you're supposed to take place in like the 1860s in this town. And Time Traveler, look at that signage right there. This leads you up to the point where you're about to add this attraction, and the theming is amazing in it. Okay, so many of you guys probably have not rode Time Traveler that watch our channel. I do high quality park, talking about Hershey Park. Silver Dollar City is okay. I'll get you some in a minute. Silver Dollar City is in the middle of nowhere in Branson, Missouri, and it's hard to get to. All right, even from Springfield, Missouri, it's about 45-minute drive. Look at that first drop off the front row, off the back row. It doesn't matter. You get great airtime. You go into an Inman loop. You go into a couple of turns, and then you hit this launch. Okay, so you'll see right here. So this ride was developed by Mack Rides, and this is the actual team from Silver Dollar City and the actual developers from Mack Rides riding the prototype of what would soon to be Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. This is an extreme spinning Mack coaster, and how it works is there's a magnet on the bottom of it, and it's a controlled magnetic spin, and they control it so much where the spin doesn't disorientate you. So you always get a one-of-a-kind experience, and this kind of showcases what they were kind of advertising. And it could be kind of similar to what is known as the Skyrocket 2 model. And I think if we saw other parks add just something as simple as this, it would even be a great coaster. But Silver Dollar City wanted to take it further, so they used the terrain, and they contacted Mack Rides and wrote it and said, yeah, install this. We want to be the first park in the United States to have the extreme spinning coaster. And this just shows kind of the advertisements that they did, things of that nature. Let's get to the coaster here in a second, but it's going to show a variety of different things here. Sorry. Okay, so they're talking about the coaster here. You can see the ride vehicles in the background. This is what the track looks like. This is them installing it. Those are the restraints. Now, the restraints are comfortable. If you guys run Mack Rides, the restraints come down at like a pressurized point, and then they release. So you don't get like a stapled ride ever. You're never going to get stapled on Mack. And look at that, how it goes through the loops, the inversions. You don't expect it. Like, I didn't expect it no matter when I rode it, in the front and the back, and I rode it, I think that a total of 10 times that day or more. I didn't expect any of it. And you get launched out of that section of the station, right away you hit the coaster. The launches, everything. It's just an ongoing, this coaster just keeps on going and going and going. I think it feels short because you don't have a lift hill. I would rank this my number 2 coaster, right behind Maverick, and Time Traveler could possibly exceed that in the future. It's just I have a lot of history with Maverick, it being my first launch coaster and so forth, and I rode it on opening year when it was the best. But yeah, man, Silver Dollar City outdid themselves. I don't know how you could top something as good as something like Time Traveler. If you guys haven't headed out to Silver Dollar City yet, you guys are missing out on a great park. I mean, Outlaw Run, Powder Keg, um, Time Traveler, Wildfire, Fire in the Hole. I think there's one other coaster. I think it's the Thunderation. Thunderation's the best mine coaster I've ever ridden. This is my top 10 list. You know, do it as you please. You guys could comment below what your top 10 coasters that you rode of 2000. And okay, so this is my top 10 new coasters that I rode from 2020. And I think I titled it right. Let me double check here. I'm looking up to see if I titled it right here. Chocolate shop. Get yourself some. Let me double check here. Yeah, I think okay. So I titled. I might retitle it something different so it makes more sense. But the top 10 coasters that I got to ride, new coasters that I got to ride in 2020. In case you guys didn't get to see them all, uh, here's my top 10 list. Number 10, Phoenix. Number 9, Candemonium. Number 8, Orion. Number 7, Mako. Number 6, Mindblower. Number 5, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Number 4, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure over at Orlando Islands of Adventure, Universal Orlando Island Adventure, Hades 360 at Mount Olympus, 2, Skyrush at Hershey Park, and number 1, Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. I hope you guys enjoyed this special. I want to wish all you guys out there a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate this type of year. We're going to be back next week. So next week we're going to be back. The whole team's going to be back. We're going to talk about our favorite experiences of 2020, our worst experiences. We're going to make it a long podcast. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be fun. You guys will have a lot of fun. We hope to have you guys out there. Also, the Give Kids the World fundraiser, we're waiting on it because of everybody having a tough and hard time this year. We decided that we're going to do that fundraiser when things settle down from the pandemic. We hope to raise like $5,000 from it. We're not benefiting anything from it. We don't write off anything. You guys could donate and write off it. We're just doing it for the simple fact is that we love the organization and we are going to set up an interview with them to show you guys exactly what that organization is about. But if you guys haven't done so already, donate a present to somebody in need this holiday season. They definitely need it. I'm going to stop the screen on here. If you guys get a chance here, like I said, donate a present to somebody in need this holiday season. I wish we could set up something here on Midwest Coaster Fans. But if you know a family, a friend, if you know any type of homeless shelter or anything like that, or just pay it forward to somebody. This is a tough season with COVID-19 going on. A lot of people are unemployed, without a job, without money this holiday season. We created this channel to give some people some excitement throughout the year. And I'm not going to lie, some of us are going through some rough times right now. If you're able to donate one present to somebody in need this holiday season, I'm pretty sure that person would greatly appreciate it. Hopefully 2021 is a better year for everybody. But Midwest Coaster Fans is going to be back here next week talking about our favorite experiences of 2020. I hope that you guys enjoy this special countdown video. We'll have a Christmas video coming out tomorrow from the team. Thanks again for watching. Have a great holiday season. Also, we have a TikTok. We're going to be going on there a lot more here in the future. With that being said, this is Chris signing off from Midwest Coaster Fans. Until next time, have a great one. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.